Good morning, everyone. So this will be a video presentation about measures of position, specifically for group data. So as you can see in the PowerPoint presentation, it presents the formula as to how to find out the quartile of a particular group distribution. So it is given by the formula L plus the quantity small letter k multiplied by capital letter N all over 4 minus less than CF or less than cumulative frequency all over the frequency of the quartile class multiplied by your N. So this will be used when we want to find out the specific quartile value in a particular group distribution. Okay? So, as what I have presented, K refers to the nth quartile. Okay, in quartile, there are only three possible values of your n or of your K, which is 1, 2, and 3. If you are looking for quartile 1, say for example, then the value of your K will be equal to 1. However, if you are looking for quartile 2, then the value of your K will be 2. And lastly, if the value of your quartile is, or if you are looking for quartile 3, then the value of your K will be 3. Alright? So N here refers still to the total frequency of the distribution, while less than CF refers to the cumulative frequency of the class below the quartile class. Okay? Later on, I'll be showing you how to pick up or how to identify the value of the less than CF in the frequency distribution table, especially in the cumulative distribution table. Okay? While F sub QK refers to the frequency of the quartile class. So for you to be able to identify the value of this F sub QK, you need to look first the value of your quartile class. So later on, I'll be showing you the process as to the way we will identify the quartile class of a particular distribution for group data. L here refers to the lower class boundary of the quartile class. Again, we cannot identify L if you do not know the quartile class of your problem or of your given distribution. And lastly, your I, that is still referred to the class size of your given interval. All right. So the next slide shows the way how to find out or how to identify the variables in the given formula a while back about QK, okay, quartile class, or about a quartile of a particular distribution. Say for example, we are looking for quartile 1 of this given distribution, which is the salary of respondents. Okay, as you can see in the salary, it is divided into several intervals. Okay, and those intervals have their corresponding frequencies. What we want in this frequency distribution table is the column for less than CF, since we will be using this column for less than CF for us to identify the quartile class of our distribution. Okay, so as you can see, the first step is for you to identify the quartile class. So how do we identify the quartile class? So if we go back to this formula, to be able to identify the quartile class, we will be referring to, okay, we will be referring to, or we will work on the numerator part of this formula, which is k times n over 4. So we need to know the value of that k times n over 4. Alright, so if we go back to this data, I've already presented the computation of the k times n over 4, which is seen on the upper right part of this slide. Okay? So it is given by 1 times 127 over 4. Why is it 1? Okay, since the value of your k, why is it the value of your k is 1? Since we are looking for quartile 1. Okay? 1 means that is the nth quartile that you are finding. So we are looking for quartile 1, that's why k will be equal to 1. And why we multiplied it with 27? 27 is the value of your n. What is n again? It is the total number of frequency which is located below this frequency table. Okay, n is equal to 127 and divided by 4. Divided by 4, constant yung denominator natin. Okay, since we are looking for quartile, we are dividing the distribution into 4 equal parts. Then we'll be having a denominator of 4 since we are dividing it by 4. So therefore, it will gives you a result of 63.5. So that will be the value of your kn divided by 4, 63.5. And this will now be the quartile class of our given distribution. Now, yung for you to be able to identify which interval, okay, which interval will correspond to this 63.5, we need to note, or you need to note, considering the less than CF table, okay, we need to note that yung 68 as the less than cumulative frequency value, yung 68, okay, as I hope you can see 68 in the less than cumulative frequency column, okay. What does it mean if we have 68 and before this 68 we have 56? What does it mean when of this 68 in the less than cumulative frequency? It means that the 57 position up to 68 position sa kanya yon, okay? It belongs to 68 less than cumulative frequency. And itong 63.5 na computed a while back, given by kn over 4, saan siya belong, okay, among this less than CF? It belongs to 68. Kasi si 68, as I said, ang kanyang composition ay from 57 position up to 68 position. And yung na-compute natin na position ay 63.5. So what does it mean? Yung 63.5 will belong to 68 in the less than CF. So the corresponding interval of that 68, okay, in the less than CF will now be our quartile class. And the quartile class will be the interval 200 to 219. I hope you got it. Okay? I hope you got it. I repeat, since yung less than cumulative frequency, which is 68, sa kanya yung 57th position up to 68 position. Since our computed value of your kn over 4 is 63.5, sa kanya yun. Okay? Sa kanya. It belongs to 68 less than CF. So therefore, the corresponding interval of that 68 in the less than cumulative frequency will be the quartile class of your Q1. It will be the quartile class of your Q1. So therefore, what does it mean? Therefore, yung 200 to 219 will now be the quartile class. Okay, will now be the quartile class. So this will be our guide. The quartile class will be our guide for us to identify other values of the other variables presented in the formula of the quartile. Okay. So since 200 to 219 in the class interval is our quartile class, we can now identify the value of your L, which is the lower class boundary, okay, which is the lower class boundary of our quartile class, and that is equal to 119.5. Yung less than CF natin, ang less than CF based from the definition is, it is the cumulative frequency of the class below the quartile class, okay, below 68. That is the meaning of that. So it is the cumulative frequency below 68. So what is the cumulative frequency below 68? It is 56. So therefore, 56 will now be the value of your less than CF in the formula. All right? And the frequency of quartile 1, or the frequency of quartile 1 will be 12. It is the corresponding frequency of the quartile class. So that is 12. I hope you got it. Okay? And your I is given in the table, and that is equal to 20. Now, the value of your kn or divided by 4 is equal now to 63.5. So given na yan in the computation. So we have now quartile 1, which is equal to 199.5 plus the quantity 63.5 minus 56 over 12 multiplied by 20. We need to simplify first the value in the parenthesis and close by the parenthesis, and we will come up with 0.625 as the value. Alright, so we will continue computing following the MDAS rule. We need to multiply first before we add. Okay, so 0.625 times 20, that is 12.5. You sum up with the lower class boundary, of the quartile class, which is 199.5. Okay, and that is now equal to 212. So what does this 212 mean? That will now be the value of your quartile 1. Okay, that is the quartile 1. So as you can see, yung 212 belongs to the quartile class from 200 to 219. So nasa kanya yon. So makikita natin yung quartile 1 on the quartile class 200 to 219. Kaya naman natin siya tinawag na quartile class, since yung quartile 1 nandun sa kanya. Okay, nandun sa kanya mismo, which is equal to 212. And this is the lecture all about finding the quartile value for group data. All right, so I hope you don't have questions about this discussion. Please wait for my next video. I'll be presenting to you the process as to how to compute for the decile for group data. Okay, decile for group data. Thank you once again, and have a good day.